that had Twitter trending with the hashtag #RightMatters. Take a look.
And you can't trust this president to do what's right for this country. You can trust he will do what's right for Donald Trump. He'll do it now. He's done it before. He'll do it for the next several months. He'll do it in the election if he's allowed to. This is why, if you find him guilty, you must find that he should be removed. Because right matters.
Well, after a few long days, senators have looked restless. Many left their desks, some even nodding off. Are Democrats smart to drag this argument out so long? They were given 24 hours. They didn't have to use 24 hours. Did they bring a book to a Twitter fight?
I'm just trying to understand the whole strategy, right? So you have to get 4 Republican senators to come over to your side in order for you to get what you want as a Democrat, which is have witnesses and extra testimony in this trial. So not only have they offended Lisa Murkowski, who just said that on record, like, I don't know about these accusations of treason and cover-up being hurled at me as a Republican. You've offended those people who you might have had on your side, Mitt Romney. You might not have anybody now. So all we have is Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, and Cory Gardner, who's from our state of Colorado. And he's kind of on the fence, so he may still vote with them, but you need all 4 of those votes. And those are the only 4 people who have spoken out and said, yes, we are interested in witnesses. We might want to hear what you're saying. And now you've hurled and thrown them all in one bucket, and you're attacking their personal character, and you want them to respond accordingly.
Well, you don't want to give, I would assume you don't want to give the impeachment trial on a doily. I mean, at some point you have to explain that this person did something wrong.
But that's not what they were explaining. They said if you choose a vote other than what Democrats are choosing, you're treasonous and you're participating in a cover-up.
I see.
And some people just really disagree with that.
I see.
So to say that about all people voting opposite of you is kind of like if we're sitting on this panel and you just throw personal attacks at me because I disagree.
Yeah, I just think Democrats have a way of always, and this is my party, but they overtalk, overshare, overdo. When people are getting bored, the American people aren't really following along. It's like the Mueller thing when they gave a 4-page summary and we came out with 295,000 pages. In this day and age, it's a snapshot, and I don't know if it went on too long.
But if they gave the summary, then they'll say, well, where are the details in it? I mean, no matter what they do, they're going to be attacked. And I think at the end of the day, it's about doing what you think is right. The Senate's not going to come around. He's not going to be impeached. He's not going to be removed from office. And I think what he's saying about doing what's right is like, how do you sleep at night? Do you sleep with the president? Do you ride with the president that endorsed somebody like Roy Moore? I mean, is that the side? That's why, like, when we start throwing around words like offended and things like that, like, let's stop with this president. Like, that's impossible at this point. The plane has hit the figurative mountain in terms of what can be offensive. So it's just all about, like, what side do you want to ride with? And we all know Trump's not going anywhere until Election Day, and then even after that.
Yeah.
So it's just,
what side of history do you want to be on?
But after hearing what Lindsay said about how they kind of felt offended, do you think that they choose the sides of morals, or do you think it's
I think they choose the side of I want to keep my job. And I think this is a flawed system in that you have to keep your job, and if your constituents is a mostly Trump district, then you have to vote with them no matter what you feel, how you feel or not. So then what's the point?
And you have to remember, they're not impeaching Trump on anything that he did across his whole 4 years in office. It's based on 2 specific counts that they have to follow, and they have to have evidence that they want to remove him from office for these 2 reasons only. Right. And so people are just wanting that evidence, and if you have people that are leaning your way, to me, to attack them and say they're offended about this particular issue, they're just like, what does you offending me and telling me as a person who doesn't vote for Trump, because, I mean, who's supporting Trump for all these other reasons, has nothing to do with this exact trial. So what are you calling me these names having to do with me voting on these 2 things?
I think they can get some thicker skin. I don't think they need to be offended by that.
But I mean, Schiff was almost in tears. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're trying to convict the president, push him out of office.
Shouldn't he get thicker skin as well? You know, it's just like everybody is super emotional.
Well, when you're offended because you might not vote the right way, I think, come on, you're a senator.
Offended because you're saying they're part of a cover-up and they're treasonous in their position.
I think that's an excuse, I do, for them not to have to vote that way. But let's see what you guys agree with or not agree with. Well, an actress from The Sopranos took the stand yesterday against Harvey Weinstein. Annabelle Sciorra testified that in 1993 or 1994, Weinstein raped her in her New York apartment, saying she tried to fight him off before being sexually assaulted. She also testified that he sent her a care package of popcorn, Valium, and a box of, quote, chocolate penises. Weinstein is facing multiple charges of rape and criminal sexual assault. Here he is being lifted in, I guess. But he's not charged with raping Shiora. Her testimony was allowed by the judge to establish a pattern of behavior. Weinstein's defense questioned her and did not hold back, asking why she didn't see a doctor or call the police. Shiora said she told only 2 friends, and one of them turned out to be the actress Rosie Perez. Just so you know, in 2017, she also sent a text message saying, "I'm broke. I really hope Harvey can get me a job," and people are sort of using that against her. But if you've been raped horrifically, I mean, he got on top of her violently, wouldn't you want some good or something to come out of that?
Yeah, they're asking the questions of not did it happen, it's why did you let it happen,
Right.
that sort of thing. And, you know, she was explaining about how at the time, she didn't know if she can classify it as rape because 25 years ago, she was saying that rape is something that she thought happened in a back alley. And now, 2020, we're finally realizing what the victims, like how a victim feels after they were in these sexual
I agree with you on this.
encounters and stuff. And we're watching that photo of them carrying, that video of them carrying
That was
Harvey
crazy.
Weinstein out. Don't feel bad for that man, because 25 years ago when he allegedly had these egregious acts, he was okay. He was in great shape. So don't worry about feeling bad for that man. Put the monster away, regardless.
Trust me, I don't think anyone in this
Yesterday,
panel
Weinstein
does.
supposedly told reporters that he's very confident that, you know, he's going to beat the case. It's just like, how are you so arrogant in this moment where someone's telling this story? Where, I know it's still alleged, all alleged, but the fact that she's going into great detail is disturbing and disgusting. At least, just be quiet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the man has a real narcissistic personality disorder. Like, I don't think he can see the other side. I think it's insane. This is a topic we've talked a lot about on the show. Emotional support animals flying the friendly skies. Only well-trained service dogs would now be allowed to fly under strict new rules proposed by the Department of Transportation. So it's an effort to stop passengers from falsely claiming their pets are service animals in general. The new rules would mean this miniature service horse on a plane wouldn't fly. Same with this emotional support peacock that once tried to board the plane. And you better leave your service hamster at home. Same goes for this alligator.
Oh, wow.
So is it fair that emotional support pigs can't fly?
Yes, very much so.
Really?
I mean, dude, we didn't sign up to be on, you know, the
Noah's Ark.
Like in the middle of the, like this is, I paid for, what you're paying for with your ticket is not only your seat, but a standard level of comfort. And when there's barn animals on there, that might be, like, honestly, a lot of people are severely allergic to some of these things. And also, you don't know how they're going to react when you get a pig or a horse or anything up in the air. Like, you don't know what could go down. And it's not fair. I don't want a horse sitting across me for 3.5 hours. Is that crazy?
No, I get that, but they're now saying that emotional support animals have to be trained as legit service animals. So what if someone
I'm fine with that.
You are.
I am 100% fine with that.
And there are miniature horses that can be trained for this. And they're saying, I was reading this, for some blind people, guide horses serve a compelling alternative to guide dogs.
So in that case, it
because they're
probably would be
360.
So alternative, no one's ever used it.
But I think
That's
all
how
the,
alternative it is.
I think all the unreasonable people ruined it for all of us, right? Somebody
That's
put a
right,
live
you're
lobster
right.
on as their emotional support lobster. So, you know, people like that really just sabotage everybody who actually wants to have a dog
Why could
for
you
comfort.
do that? Like, I don't understand why you can just push the rules like that.
'Cause that's what
they found loopholes in the rules.
But this is
That's
like
what
a
people do.
serious thing.
Right,
Like,
but humans always push.
But
That's
then,
their
like,
thing.
what if people started doing that to park in the handicap spaces in front of the movies? Like, it's funny until it's not.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you. The peacock was not funny. I agree. All right, this
It was a little funny.
It was very funny.
Okay.
This is a crazy story. Did a highway camera just catch Bigfoot?
No.
Yes. Check out these photos tweeted out by the Washington State Department of Transportation. Go ahead, take a closer look. You see what seems to be a Sasquatch-like figure near a tree. Now, apparently, crews were immediately dispatched to look, but after several passes, they couldn't find.
That's just a very tall person
I'm about to say that's a tall
in
man.
a onesie. That's all I saw there. You have to have we got 4K cameras now. Like, why is every image of Bigfoot or the Loch
grainy,
Ness
like
monster?
1969,
You know, Mitch Hedberg, my favorite comedian, Mayhe Rest, always said, "What if Bigfoot was just blurry? Like himself, he's just blurry." Yeah, like I love
I just think it's a deeper thing.
Oh
Like,
my God, stop.
what is it about Bigfoot? I mean, there are people that dedicate their lives just
What
looking for
is
Bigfoot. They're Bigfoot forums. I wonder what the fundamental thing is.
that something's out there we're not being told. It's people that really believe in conspiracy theories, I think. But I kind of believe that.
I gotta see the ratio to the tree. Like, how big is that tree?
Okay.
And how big is that man thing?
Wouldn't
Whatever.
we find footprints in
People have found footprints.
They would have had him on planet Earth by now.
Well,
Sir David Attenborough would have found Bigfoot by now.
Respect. Let us know if you believe in Bigfoot. DBL, we are live, and coming up, the United States Constitution has stood the test of time, but is it flawed? Outspoken sportscaster Dale Hansen is back and shares his DBL take. And you, the viewer, you're our fifth host. Elizabeth Warren wants to forgive all student loan debt, but is that fair to those who have worked hard to pay it off on their own? DBL Nation, you are heated, and your comments are next.
Grub.
Well, that's what
Who's this, Germs?
We are live, huh?
Germs always has some good comments.
Germs. We're going to read comments next on our fifth host. Service animals?
Yeah, well, they had
You guys,
snakes,
I worked
pigs,
with-
monkeys,
I worked with,
lobsters.
my Josie Rose is a therapy dog that was trained for Delta Society, and we work with kids that read, and we have to go through all of these issues. And there was a animal therapy cat, Phoebe, but none of the kids wanted to read to the cat.
Don't you think it's a little messed up for people who don't love dogs, they prefer cats, and they still need emotional support? Why do they have to be only a dog?
No, they can be cats.
I think that's the bigger thing.
Because flying is scary to people.
Yes, but your car is right there. Flying is not
No,
a
you
government.
can't drive from New York to LA and make whatever
People do it all the time.
I know, but I'm saying, say you gotta be there tomorrow.
Then that's what we call a you problem.
Saying that?
Like, I can't do that because you need your pig on the
Emotional
flight.
support is real, though, Al. Like, you can't say, I know most people are using it as a joke and saying, oh, my dog's emotional
Does it say
support, but some
side or
people
whatever?
genuinely need the
If
support.
you genuinely need it, then go
Stop
through the
talking.
steps to get it
Thank you.
verified, like for real. Not like, oh, I have a friend that's a doctor that just wrote
me a
this.
note.
They're saying that
If you go through the real steps, I'm all for that. But like, if it's funny, but like if a pig like bit your mom or something and she got some weird infection on a commercial flight, you would be heated. I mean, there are people that have real
eyes are
allergies to pets.
But you
we
do
got a
have to
writer,
tell
Brenny
that.
Sprong says, I'm allergic to horses, cats, and dogs.
It's
That's
like
why I
really
don't
se-
fly.
But you've never heard of someone
Respiratory
dying from being allergic to. You've never heard of these
Until it happens.
I know that, but it's not an emergency like epidemic at all.
French bulldog dying.
That's because they put him up.
I
in
know,
that-
they made him- and I was like-
remember his name?
Yes.
Tino or something. Chino.
So guess you don't remember his name.
We're not gonna bash United again, but that's where it
You know, like, guys, don't remember his name?
Chino? I think it was Chino.
It
Rest
was
in
not.
peace.
It was Tino or Chino.
There's a Chino or a Tino.
I want to talk about that dating app story.
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead
we
and
didn't
tell
get to
them
it.
so we can talk about-
No, we'll do it
I
in
think
the
we spent
next
too
break.
much time on the impeachment.
They also said if we needed to blow one story, that one should go.
But that was OT. Like,
Welcome back to DBL. Let me sit facing you guys. It's time for fifth host, and Senator Elizabeth Warren is facing controversy again. A tax-paying father says her student forgiveness plan is unfair because he worked hard and saved to help his daughter pay off her loans. Check out the senator's response.
For Americans who are in that father's position, who felt they did the right thing and you're bailing out those who didn't, what's your response?
Look, we build a future going forward by making it better. By that same logic, what would we have done? Not started Social Security because we didn't start it last week for you or last month for you?
So, DBL Nation, do you support student loan forgiveness, or is this totally unfair?
Okay, Germs from Facebook says, it's the colleges and universities who should pay it back, not the government. I pay for my college too. Do I get my money back? Listen, college is very expensive. Al enlightened me that it could be upwards of 60 grand at some colleges a year, which is, I don't even know how you afford that.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's not like that crazy. It's
Right, and
sad.
so I read what this dad said, and I know that he was saying he has a friend that has a total different life from him, a friend that went on vacation, bought a lavish car, did all the things that young people tend to do when they are not financially astute. And he went and worked 3 jobs, paid for his kid to go to college, paid for himself to go through college, and he just thinks it's unfair that he's basically being penalized while his friend will be the one that's a candidate for this loan forgiveness. So it's kind of like, how do you reward somebody? He just wants to know, would you retroactive for people who just paid that back?
Yeah.
He's looking at his friend who's a close friend who did something totally opposite and was irresponsible, who's gonna just go through life freely with all those nice cars and nice house and everything.
All right. Kathy from Facebook says the interest on these loans is killing the kids. It would be a bonus to the economy for them to have extra money for houses and cars. Besides, if we can bail out the auto industry, big banks, and Wall Street, then why not? This is coming from a scholarship athlete, so I never had to deal with student loans and stuff, but I do understand what people are going through. I have friends who are just paying it off in their 30s.
Obama just paid it off before he became president.
Really? What was his
student
interest like then?
I mean, it's crazy.
But I think this is one of those things, you don't take that up with Senator Warren. I think you take it up with the government. You take it up with the universities. I think we need to be collectively all in on this one to try and figure out some sort of a bailout or something to help to appease everyone, because not everyone is going to feel like the right decision is made with whatever decision is made.
All right.
I kind of just danced around that.
That's all right. Yolanda from Facebook says, I think we should follow Denmark's lead and pay for college for our citizens. You know, again, people are going to say, how are you going to pay for that? I think when it comes to paying back people's student loans, maybe if you can figure out a way, because I understand what Lindsay was saying about some people saying, hey, I worked hard, where's my what do I get out of it?
Yep.
I think what you should convince people to do is be like, when you have young people that are no longer under this debt, those young people can now move to your neighborhood, buy a house, and invest in that neighborhood, send their kids to that school district goes up, more people move there, your property value goes up, and guess what? Now you just made some money. So get these young people out from underneath this debt and buying homes in your neighborhood and investing in the neighborhood. That will make you money in the end. Trust me.
I agree.
Oh, Jackson, 2020.
Very nice.
2020.
Yeah,
That's
just
right.
so you know, we have 5 seconds left.
Don't look in my past.
We'll leave it at that. Coming up on DBL, the U.S. Constitution is essential to our democracy, but is it time for changes?
What a great picture.
Our friend Dale Hansen sounds off coming up next.
Hi.
Mad, but okay. So there was a woman from Colorado, where we're at, who was on a dating app, and somebody messaged her some rude things, like the R word, and just inappropriate things. Now, he didn't threaten her or anything. He just sent her some inappropriate messages, which happens from time to time on dating apps, and I don't condone it. But then she seeked out his father and sent him a screenshot of the message, and then she seeked out his employer, General Electric, I believe, and added them on Twitter and showed them the screenshot, like, this is who you hire. And I just think that might have been a little bit too far, because he's an intern there, so he's just starting his career, and she essentially is trying to sabotage and ruin his career based off of somebody sending an immature message that wasn't threatening or anything. I don't know. What do you guys think?
For me, I think if he had been threatening,
right,
I totally would have understood her calling the dad or General Mills. But for him, he made a stupid comment. It was super inappropriate. But the response to me was not warranted to call someone out like that.
To call him out publicly to his
that's
family, to
dangerous.
his
You know
job.
what I mean?
I didn't even understand. I'm telling your dad. Sure. I even saw some leniency for that part. I'm like, okay, she's telling his dad, but not adding his job. He's trying to start a
You understand that, like,
That's not
from
a
now on,
balance.
people will, whenever somebody Googles him when he's 35, this will be the first thing that comes up, because it'll be probably the most interesting thing he's ever done.
Right.
Like, this will affect him for years, and again, it's wrong, but just
he shouldn't say that.
He shouldn't, but like at 20,
tell his dad, fine.
At
but
20, you're still learning what you shouldn't say.
Proportionate. I said is bad and proportionate.
4,
That's it.
2.
Welcome back to DBL. We hear politicians talk about the Constitution, but some debate that it should be rewritten. Well, Dale Hansen from our Dallas sister station WFAA has a lot to say about the document that he calls flawed. Here's Dale's DBL Take.
Now that we've turned the calendar and we're in the beginning of a presidential election year and the third impeachment of a president in our nation's history, we're going to hear a great deal about the Constitution. It is the fallback argument for most politicians when their arguments fall apart. Now, I do think the Constitution is a remarkable document, but it's a flawed document, written by only white men, and they made a mess of the Second Amendment. I never have understood how a well-regulated militia has become every Stephen, Patrick, and Dylan can own an assault rifle, and yet gun owners claim to know exactly what the Founding Fathers meant. Founding Fathers, who were all white, and most of those white men owned slaves, Those are the men who wrote the document that is considered to be the holy grail of what makes our country so great. How can any constitution be the end-all argument about the foundation of our country when it included a 3/5 compromise? A compromise where only 3 of 5 slaves would be counted as people. It was to give the southern states more seats in Congress and more electoral votes, and it took almost 80 years before we as a country realized just how morally wrong that was. When you have the authors arguing that men with the pigmentation of a Dr. King, Barack Obama, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and Frederick Douglass should only be counted as 3 of the 5, you have lost your claim to the higher ground. The Constitution was adopted in 1788. It was 82 years before the 15th Amendment allowed black men to vote, and another 50 years before the 19th Amendment gave women the vote. It has always been the American struggle to make the promise of the Constitution and what it aspires to be actually mean what so many think it does. But those white men, as flawed as they were, wrote a document that started this country the right way by starting with, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." And hopefully, someday we will.
So this is a fascinating take that a lot of people have, actually, that it's outdated, it's antiquated. It was written by people not representative of our country. But no, for me, no document will ever be perfect. And the Constitution is brilliant because it can be changed and amended. And it's not easy to amend, but it's a flexible and changing document. So history is never always perfect. You're going to have horrific things placed in there. But for me, the Constitution's genius is in that you can change it.
But even in watching some of the impeachment stuff, we were all sitting here like, what are these rules? Who made up these rules?
Yeah.
Where did they come from?
No cookies and
Milk only.
Exactly. And even though those may not date all the way back to the origin of the Constitution, it's still like some of these rules need to be changed with the times. I think that a lot of people are scared of a full overhaul because then that means a lot of people lose power.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I wonder
right.
if we should make the amendment process easier, if that's something that should possibly be done.
We would have to pass an amendment to do that,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, interesting. Well, Dale's always fascinating. Please write us in and let us know how you feel about Dale's DBL Take. We love him. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. Now, I'm your boy Jeray Banks, and I'm here to guide you through everything that you need to slay your life with all things beauty. Now, today, we're gonna talk a little about something called nails, hunty. Yes, the nail trends have been killing it in 2019, so far as we've even got some players that you wouldn't normally expect slaying the game this year. Now, one trend that's taking over Instagram by storm is the Skittles nail polish trend. Yes, my friend, I said Skittles and not the one you ate. We are not getting into 3D nail art just yet. Now, for this look, all you're going to need is 5 different colors and 5 fingers. You can use different fingers too. If you want to use 3 fingers, you'd be alright. However, all this trend is utilizing different colors on each nail for a fun, flirty look. Now, you can use bright colors, bold colors, opaque, whatever your heart feels or desires for that day. It's going to be very fashion forward. Now, the only bad part to this is if you chip a nail, honey, you better be prepared to have all 5 of those nail polishes in your purse because you're gonna be kind of SOL if it's your pinky color and you only have your ring finger with you on deck, okay? Now, with that being said, everyone's doing this and it looks super fun. I even wanna get in on this nail trend with my girl Melly at Mainstream Nails. What's up, sis? I'm about to see you next week. But even Harry Styles has been getting in on this. Recently, he actually hosted SNL and he killed it with this beautiful Skittles nail trend. His nails truly stole the show in every scene. Now, he even matched up his nails from sparkly sequin jumpsuits to a full-on all-red suit that just simply slayed. Now, the former One Direction singer has been seen using this Skittles nail trend earlier this year. If you might remember, he killed it at Met Gala 2019 with the Skittle nail, but this time at SNL, he really just stepped it up with that boldness a little bit more, and we are a fan hunty. Now, for more Beauty Blast videos or more beauty knowledge in general, make sure you're watching Daily Blast Live or Beauty Blast videos right here, or follow me at Jeray for the Slay for more beauty talk. We'll see you guys next time.
Tokyo spicing up the Olympics with a modern-day makeover. Let's connect the dots. Over 20,000 of the world's best athletes are expected to compete. That's a lot of bodies to get to the right place at the right time. So Toyota is debuting the e-Palette. a self-driving car that will take athletes where they need to go. The 2020 Games will also feature robot assistants. They'll be on hand to help answer fan questions at venues around the city. Don't speak Japanese? No problem. The company Panasonic, working on a small device to wear around your neck. It would instantly translate Japanese into 10 other languages. An astronomy startup is planning an artificial meteor shower for the opening ceremony. Some out-of-this-world innovation for what could be the most futuristic Olympic Games ever. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Chrissy Teigen revealed an odd eating habit on Twitter. She confessed she eats 2 hard-boiled eggs in the middle of the night every night to help her sleep. So what foods really do help you sleep? Well, we're talking about it in today's Rise and Thrive, sponsored by So Clean. First up, tart cherry juice.
Were those people in heaven?
I think they were. I think they were in heaven. They have died.
They were going to get cherry juice.
Cherry juice is packed with melatonin, which of course is a hormone that helps you fall asleep. Also, if you have gout, cherry juice is excellent for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Next up, let's get nuts. Almonds. They help reduce the stress hormone cortisol, which is known to interrupt
What about
your
the stress
sleep.
from trying to chew them?
I know you have a headache by the time
Almonds are disgusting. They taste like playing cards.
No, but you don't.
No
I
flavor.
disagree with him about
I know our
pretzels.
stage manager David is feeling some kind of way. People love their almonds. I don't. They have no flavor.
Well, no sleep for you then, Al.
Yeah, okay, finally, how about this? This is a good fruit.
All right, let's go.
Kiwis, okay, they have a high level of serotonin, which I need.
Yum.
The chemical that helps to regulate sleep, so you'll stay asleep longer. For more ways to rest easy, go to SoClean.com or call 1-800-536-9175. Those guys look happy.
Yeah, they are.
Super happy.
Friday to those
They look like
two.
they've been eating almonds.
It's true. All right, we'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Be good to everybody. Bye, guys.